Alright, and we're back now at the, what I think is the main memorial for the siege. We've got right here, kind of a Vietnam Wall type memorial. I don't think that's all the victims, because I don't think 10,000 names can fit on those spires, but it appears to be a whole lot of them. And then over here, we have a fountain. There's a sculpture in the middle of it, and on it, written there, you can see whatever it says in Bosnian, but something to the tune of, to the victims of the siege of Sarajevo, 92, what would it say? 92 to 95. In addition, up here on this little hill, there's a cemetery. Check that out real quick. There are cemeteries all over this country. Driving into Sarajevo, which involves 2.5 hours on a very long one-lane road through rural Bosnia. There are cemeteries everywhere, big cemeteries too. Over here, you see somewhat of an official memorial. Here's a little memorial yard for Bosnian Muslims. I'm not really sure the significance of it, but we're in some kind of park that's, you can see down here in the trees, the graves and all that. Not sure what's up here. I think this is just a park. I don't think there's anything specific about it. Probably wrong, but as I'm not an expert on Sarajevo and I do not have a tour guide with me, the best I can deduce it is just a park. Gravestones, at the base of which is the monument you saw earlier. You can see it from up here. It's right down there. And we have another rose petal down here as well. The rose petals are particularly moving because, as I said before, it's the location of mortar strikes, the exact location of where a mortar hit. Not only that, but people died at that spot. Usually a lot of people. They'll put I don't think they have enough paint to cover all of the mortar impact sites, but the ones that they go through the trouble to mark, if I remember what I read correctly, that is where multiple people were killed by the civilians, were killed by the single, that mortar. I'm gonna check it out here. I'm surprised no one's stolen mine. I thought I'd give it a try too. Alright, we are on the edge of the old town as well, just for a reference. Here's the rose petals. And see, that's kind of a big one. The impacts for mortars, again, if you've ever been to Iraq or Afghanistan, you'll know this, but the mortar impacts are not giant craters. They're actually very shallow. They look like that you could easily walk over them without knowing you did. and they don't look like anything special. Mortars kill people from the shrapnel they spray out, not from the actual explosion. The explosion itself isn't that big. If it lands right on top of you, you're smoked, but generally speaking, the explosion propels a whole bunch of shrapnel outwards, and that's what causes all the injury and death. The impact craters themselves are very shallow. They look like someone just took a sledgehammer and hit the sidewalk. So there's a lot of marks around the city that look like they could be mortar strikes. They very well might be. I don't think they are, but in addition to that, there are numerous buildings, particularly when you get away from the old city is where they draw tourists, where they appear to draw tourists and people like me. If you get away from that, you can see a lot of the remnants from the war. We're gonna grab beer now.